WNBA finals. And so I'll leave it there. I mean, I'm just obviously disheartened. You know, I'm a human too. I have a family. I have 2 kids who are devastated by these comments. And so all I'll say is just, you know, it's obviously...
Caitlyn Clark's entrance into the WNBA didn't just make waves. It sent a shock through the entire league. From the moment she was drafted, it was clear that Clark was more than just another rookie. Her college career had already built her into a household name, and the anticipation surrounding her professional debut reached unprecedented levels. Fans, analysts, and even casual observers knew that her presence would change the narrative of women's basketball. But what nobody could have predicted was how quickly the excitement would turn into intense scrutiny and backlash. Clark's arrival challenged not only the league's expectations, but also the unspoken hierarchy that had been in place for decades. The ripple effect of her arrival wasn't limited to the courts. It permeated locker rooms, press rooms, and social media alike. The WNBA, a league that had long worked to cultivate its identity and celebrate its history, suddenly faced a new face who commanded immediate attention. Her talent and marketability were undeniable, but with that came pressure both internal and external to prove herself in an environment that wasn't always welcoming to rookies, no matter how accomplished. What was meant to be a celebration of a new star quickly became a test of resilience, setting the stage for a season filled with tension, rivalry, and unprecedented media scrutiny. When Caitlyn Clark signed her historic $28 million deal with Nike, it was meant to be a milestone for women's basketball, a celebration of talent finally being recognized on a global stage. The deal was unprecedented for a rookie, signaling that Clark wasn't just a player to watch. She was the future face of the sport. Nike's marketing team capitalized on her sharpshooting ability, relentless work ethic, and charisma, creating a campaign that positioned Clark as a revolutionary figure in the league. For fans, it was inspiring. For some veterans, however, it felt like a disruption, a sudden shift in the established order that brought long-simmering tensions to the surface. The fallout was immediate and intense. The league, the locker rooms, and even social media became battleground. Clark's success and visibility highlighted disparities in pay, recognition, and opportunities between rookies and longtime players, sparking resentment from some corners. Every step she took, every commercial clip she appeared in, was analyzed and critiqued, not just as a rookie's performance, but as a symbol of change that threatened the status quo. The message was clear. Clark had arrived, and her presence alone was forcing the league to confront decades of unmet expectations and unspoken hierarchies. The arrival of Caitlyn Clark didn't just change the fan experience. It shifted the dynamics inside every locker room she entered. Veterans who had spent years grinding overseas, battling injuries, and sacrificing for the game suddenly found themselves facing a rookie who had already secured life-changing deals before stepping on a professional court. For some, it was hard to reconcile the idea that someone so new could command so much attention and financial reward. The tension wasn't always overt, but it manifested in subtle ways: sharper looks during practice, pointed comments in interviews, and a heightened sense of competitiveness that went beyond the normal rivalry of the sport. Clark's presence became a mirror, reflecting the frustrations and insecurities of those who had carried the league for years. What started as quiet resentment quickly escalated into targeted behavior on the court. Veteran players began testing Clark in ways rookies rarely experience, pushing the boundaries of physicality and intensity. Hard fouls, aggressive defense, and relentless full-court pressure became the standard treatment for Clark, sending a message that she still had to earn her place. It wasn't just about basketball skill, it was about proving loyalty to the established hierarchy and challenging the narrative that a single rookie could redefine the league overnight. The tension in these moments revealed a deeper story: the struggle between honoring the past and embracing a new era, and the emotional cost that falls on the one blazing the trail. As the tension around Caitlyn Clark intensified, the WNBA found itself walking a tightrope. League officials, including Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, faced the challenge of balancing support for a rising star with the need to maintain harmony among veteran players. Unfortunately, the response was often slow, measured, and, in many eyes, insufficient. Instead of stepping in decisively to protect Clark, the league's silence spoke volumes. Every viral clip of a hard foul, every pointed media comment, and every tense locker room interaction highlighted a system struggling to adapt to the presence of a rookie whose fame and marketability were already eclipsing traditional norms. The inaction left Clark exposed and gave her detractors a sense of tacit permission to escalate their tactics. This lack of early intervention extended beyond the hardwood and into the public narrative. When asked about the growing friction, Engelbert made comments comparing Clark's situation to historic NBA rivalries, framing tension as a business-driving spectacle rather than addressing the personal and professional impact on the player. While intended to contextualize competition, these statements backfired, reinforcing the perception that the league prioritized ratings over player safety and well-being. The missed opportunity to establish clear boundaries and protect Clark sent a subtle yet unmistakable warning. You are part of a collective, and individual stardom comes with scrutiny, resistance, and consequences. The stage was set for an environment where proving oneself meant enduring not just competition, but calculated hostility from both peers and the system itself. The tension surrounding Caitlyn Clark didn't stay behind closed doors. It exploded on the court in ways that quickly went viral. Every game became a showcase not just of skill, but of the intensity and scrutiny she faced as a rookie, navigating a league resistant to immediate stardom. Hard fouls, aggressive full-court pressure, and borderline dirty plays became almost routine, creating highlight reels that spread across social media within minutes. Clips of Clark being checked, hip-checked, or pressured into mistakes fueled online debates, with fans split between admiration for her resilience and criticism of perceived entitlement. The viral nature of these moments amplified the pressure on her, turning each game into both a proving ground and a spectacle. This on-court aggression wasn't just random, it was a reflection of the unspoken warnings sent by the league and the veterans. Players felt a sense of duty to challenge Clark physically, to remind her that earning respect in the WNBA requires more than talent. It requires enduring the gauntlet. Every collision, every contested shot, and every hard foul became a test of both skill and mental toughness. For Clark, the challenge was clear: succeed, survive, and prove that her place at the top of the league was legitimate. And for viewers, it offered a raw, unfiltered look at the tensions that had been simmering behind the scenes, showing that in professional sports, the battle off the court can be just as fierce as the one on it. No discussion about Caitlyn Clark's rocky introduction to the WNBA would be complete without addressing the Angel Reese factor. Reese, the Chicago Sky rookie, who had already built a reputation as a fierce competitor, became a central figure in the narrative surrounding Clark. The media quickly framed them as rivals, playing into the classic hero versus anti-hero storyline that sells headlines and ratings. Reese's on-court dominance, combined with moments of visible defiance like cheering during her teammates' hard plays against Clark or refusing to engage with the media, added fuel to a fire that was already smoldering. What might have been normal rookie interactions were now magnified into a full-blown rivalry, with every clash scrutinized, debated, and dissected for weeks. This manufactured rivalry created a unique dynamic within the league. Fans and media alike became invested in the drama, sometimes more than the actual basketball. Clark's every move was interpreted through the lens of competition with Reese, creating pressure that went far beyond what most rookies face. The league's handling of the situation, coupled with its tacit approval of these narratives, allowed the tension to fester. Instead of emphasizing mentorship or integration, the spotlight was on conflict, reinforcing the perception that Clark had to fight not just to earn respect on the court, but to survive in the social and political landscape of professional basketball. Caitlyn Clark's rise also set the stage for a high-stakes clash between corporate power and league tradition. On one side was Nike, a global marketing giant that had invested millions in building Clark as the face of women's basketball. Their focus was clear: sell shoes, grow the brand, and position Clark as a transcendent star. On the other side was the WNBA, a league intent on preserving its identity and hierarchy, prioritizing the collective over the individual. When Nike released an ad showcasing Clark as a lone, unstoppable force, it disrupted the balance, shining a spotlight on her that overshadowed the league's broader narrative. Suddenly, the WNBA was forced to navigate the tension between benefiting from her fame and controlling the story surrounding its players. The fallout from this imbalance was both financial and psychological. The league had to reconcile its reliance on Clark's star power with its need to maintain harmony among its players. For Nike, the campaign was about individual achievement. For the WNBA, It was about collective legacy and respect for those who had built the league over decades. This tug-of-war placed Clark in the middle of a complex web, where her every success was both a boon and a challenge for the league. As fans cheered her accomplishments, the league quietly wrestled with how much control it could exert while still benefiting from the commercial goldmine she represented. The tension between corporate influence and league tradition was now front and center, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Caitlyn Clark's presence didn't just change the headlines, it changed the financial landscape of the WNBA almost overnight. Teams that once flew commercial and squeezed players into tight budgets now had to adjust, sometimes standardizing charter flights and better accommodations to match the expectations set by Clark's arrival. What was meant to be a perk for a rising star quickly became league-wide, benefiting veterans who had long endured less. While this may seem positive on the surface, it created an unusual psychological tension. The very players enforcing the hardest on-court battles against Clark were indirectly benefiting from the financial ripple her presence caused. Resentment brewed quietly, mixing gratitude with frustration and setting the stage for heightened competition both on and off the court. This shift exposed the invisible, emotional undercurrents within the league. For a decade-long veteran, seeing a rookie achieve unprecedented financial and commercial success before even playing a professional minute was a bitter pill to swallow. Hard fouls and aggressive play became expressions of this frustration, a way for players to assert themselves in the face of a disruption to the established order. Clark, meanwhile, had to navigate this delicate environment every game, a test of skill, endurance, and mental fortitude. The financial shakeup highlighted not just disparity, but the human side of professional sports. How success for one can challenge ego, loyalty, and tradition, making even routine contests feel like high-stakes battles. The media played a huge role in amplifying the pressure surrounding Caitlyn Clark. Every story, clip, and headline was dissected, often framing her rookie season as a battle not just on the court, but against the entire WNBA establishment. Interviews and coverage frequently highlighted the tension between Clark and veteran players, turning ordinary games into narratives of personal conflict. The scrutiny wasn't limited to her performance. It extended to her every action, comment, and endorsement, with social media acting as a constant magnifier. Fans became part of the story, debating and sometimes attacking Clark, creating an environment where the basketball itself was secondary to the drama. The Olympic snub added fuel to this fire, marking one of the clearest signs of the establishment attempting to assert control. Despite her unparalleled popularity and dominance in college, Clark was left off Team USA for the Paris Olympics under the guise of experience and chemistry. The decision was widely interpreted as a power move, signaling that the league and its affiliated committees decided who would shine on the world stage. Instead of using the Olympics to showcase the next generation of stars, the establishment appeared focused on protecting hierarchy, inadvertently elevating Clark's profile even further. The snub validated her critics, but also galvanized her fans, turning what was meant to humble her into a defining moment of her early career. The WNBA now finds itself sitting on a powder keg, and Caitlyn Clark is at the center of it. The combination of intense on-court physicality, questionable officiating, and social media backlash has created an environment that feels hostile not just to her, but to the fans who have come to watch her play. Clips of hard fouls and controversial calls have fueled conspiracy theories that the league is intentionally toughening her up, while fans debate whether referees are letting aggression slide to maintain the status quo. This perception of inconsistency has only added to the tension, making every game a high-stakes spectacle where Clark must survive both the competition and the politics surrounding her rise. As the league navigates this new reality, the stakes couldn't be higher. Clark isn't just a player, she's an economy, a cultural force, and a symbol of the next era of women's basketball. Her marketability, combined with the attention she brings to games, has the potential to redefine the league's financial and cultural trajectory. But with that power comes responsibility for the WNBA to protect its rising stars while balancing tradition, veteran influence, and fan engagement. The coming seasons will be a test of leadership, resilience, and vision, and the world will be watching every move. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts on Caitlyn Clark's WNBA journey, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates on this evolving story.